येन तस्मै श्रीगुरवे नमः। श्रीचैतन्यमनोभीष्टं स्थापितं येन भूतले स्वयं रूप कदा मह्यं ददाति स्वपदान्तिकम्। वन्देऽहं श्रीगुरु श्रीयुतापदकमलं श्रीगुरोन् वैष्णवांश्च श्रीरूपं साग्रजातां सहगणा रघुनाथान्वितं तं सजीवं साद्वैतं सावधूतं परिजनसहितं कृष्णचैतन्यदेवं श्रीराधाकृष्णपादान् सहगणा ललिता श्रीविशाखान्वितंश्च नमो विष्णुपादाय कृष्णप्रेष्ठाय भूतले श्रीमते भक्तिवेदान्त स्वामिनिति नामिने। नमस्ते सरस्वते देवै गौरवाणी प्रचारिणे निर्विशेषशून्यवादी पाश्चात्यदेशतारिणे। जय श्री कृष्ण चैतन्य प्रभु नित्यानंद श्री अद्वैत गदाधर श्रीवासादि गौर भक्तवृंद। हरे कृष्णा कृष्ण कृष्ण हरे हरे, हरे राम 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 हरे हरे। Hare Krishna. So welcome all the devotees for today's class. So today we are going to have a little different way of our presentations. So today we are entering into the fifth chapter of Bhagavad Gita, and today is also a very auspicious day of auspicious of in disappearance of Srila Vrindavan Das Thakur. So all of us as we are entering, I just thought to speak something about Vrindavan Das Thakur as we are entering into the fifth chapter now. So all of us know Vrindavan Das Thakur. So once upon a time, at the house of Srivas Thakur, they used to do a lot of Nam Sankirtan, night out, day out, so many times. And this news reached the neighboring kingdom, the Mughal kingdom, and then the Muslim emperor. It reached to the Qazi and Nawab. And that time they all decided these people are creating so much chaos. These people are doing chanting, dancing, and all. What is this useless thing? So they made a plan. They made a plan that will attack these Vaishnavas and kill them and throw them in Ganga. Now, one day, what happened? This news reached to Srivas Thakur that the Muslim emperor is going to come and he's going to kill all Vaishnavas and put them in Ganga like that. So, as such, Srivas Thakur had full faith on the names of Lord and everything, but still he was very concerned that, oh, what will happen to the devotees? He knew that somebody chants holy name, nothing can happen to him, but still he was very concerned. So one day, Srivas Thakur goes to the temple of Lord Narsingadev and he closes the door. He closes the door and he is desperately praying to Narsingadev for protection. So when he closes, suddenly Chaitanya Mahaprabhu comes to know that Srivas Thakur is praying to Narsingadev. And that time, running like a madman, Chaitanya Mahaprabhu comes from here, there, third, third. He runs and he actually comes directly to the house of Srivas Thakur. And uh, when he comes to the house of Srivas Thakur, he kicks the house, kicks the door of the temple and enters inside the temple hall. And there he finds Srivas Thakur praying. Then he said, Srivas, what happened? Why you are praying to Narsingadev? So he said, I heard that this Muslim kings are coming and emperor are coming. So he said, don't you know, Srivas, that All anyone who is chanting the holy names of Lord, not even nothing bad can happen to them. And he said, let them come. Let this all Muslim people come, and let them see how they can do what they can do to the devotees. So he said, I will I'll personally go and call all the qazis, all the nawabs. And he said, and I will ask them, you read Quran, you read your scriptures, and bring all the animals, bring all the birds, bring all the tigers, bring all the elephants. And if after reading your Quran and after reading your sacred mantras, you should make these animals cry in ecstasy. If you can make these animals cry in ecstasy, then I can understand that your mantra and your sampradaya has any power. So he said, now they will come, they'll chant Quran, and no animal will cry in ecstasy, no animal will get transformed. And he said, then I will call all the mad elephants, I'll call everyone, birds, insects, everyone, and then I will chant Hare Krishna Maha Mantra. And the world will see how this all birds and animals and everyone is going to chant the holy name. They are going to cry in ecstasy. And he said, this way I will defeat everyone. And in case if they don't listen, or despite of after this, then he mentions, I'll do this, I'll do this, I'll do that. So many things, Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. Then he said, don't you have faith on the power of holy name? And that time, Srivas Thakur had a niece. Niece means bhatiji. Niece. She had a niece, and her name was Narayani. So he called, oh, call Narayani, call this girl, small girl Narayani, and let me show you the power of holy name. So niece, so he Chaitanya Mahaprabhu touched Narayani, small girl. She was only 4 years old. He said, Narayani, chant the names of Krishna in ecstasy. And Narayani actually started, oh Krishna, oh Radha, Hare Krishna. She used to chant, 4 years old only. She used to become ecstatic, and the tears used to come out from his eyes and everything. So everyone saw the power of. So it is said Chaitanya Mahaprabhu used to be very, very merciful to this small girl called as Narayani. And sometimes Chaitanya Mahaprabhu used to give his own Mahaprasad to this girl. He used to, whatever he used to eat, he just used to give to that small girl, Narayani. And we know, so Narayani is the daughter of Srivas Thakur's brother, whose name was Sri Nalina Pandit. And Sri Nalina Pandit had a daughter called as Narayani. And this Narayani got married at a very early age. I think as a child only she got married. And she got married to one person called as Vaikuntanath. Vaikuntanath Mishra. She got married. But when this Narayani was pregnant, that time only husband left body. And then Narayani had no other option. So Narayani, she was pregnant, and that time the husband left, Vaikuntanath left body, and then Narayani had to serve at the house of one great devotee that is called as Vasudev Datta. So she got chance to do deity worship at the house of Vasudev Datta. And then there, the child who took birth was Vrindavan Das Thakur. So that is said this Vrindavan Das Thakur is a combined incarnation of two great personalities. One is uh, one is Shri Vedvyas himself, and another personality whose combined incarnation is Kusuma Pida Gopa. So there is a Gopa called as Kusuma Pida Gopa. So it's his combined incarnation of both these personalities. And it is said the actual, if you really want to understand Bhagavad Gita, if you really want, Bhakti Siddhanta Thakur is to say, if you really want to understand Srimad Bhagavatam, then one should read Chaitanya Bhagavat or Chaitanya Charitamrita. They said only by understanding Chaitanya Bhagavat and Chaitanya Charitamrita, one can have real understanding of Srimad Bhagavatam. Because Vedvyas himself coming as Vrindavan Das Thakur and mentioning the beautiful pastimes. So it is said, even an atheistic person, even a Pashandi, if he hears Srimad Chaitanya Bhagavat, he said he will get pure love of Godhead. That is the Vrindavan Das Thakur's beautiful. And amazing thing, Vrindavan Das Thakur, when he took birth, so just when he took birth, 4 years before only Chaitanya Mahaprabhu had left this planet. So in one way, Vrindavan Das Thakur has no actual physical presence of Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, but he has written a biography of Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, all the pastimes of Mahaprabhu in a great detail. How it is possible? This is only possible by his Krishna consciousness, or this is empowerment. and Vrindan Das Thakur was a disciple of Nityananda Prabhu. So he was disciple of Nityananda Prabhu. He is the last disciple of Nityananda Prabhu, and he got empowered. So in the last chapter of Bhagavad Gita, we discussed about why it is important to render service to the Guru. So when we render service to the Guru, then what happens? When we get the knowledge of a sacrifice which is to be performed, how to perform Dravya Yagya, Kriya Yagya, Tapo Yagya, and when we go to Guru and when we render service by Pranipat, Pariprashna Seva, then we get Jnana. And then in the last we discussed who is a person who will attain Jnana and who is a person who will not attain Jnana. So there is a need of a faith. To attain Jnana, there is a need of a faith. And to not attain Jnana, a person who is very doubtful, who is always doubting, will not attain Jnana. So now second chapter of Bhagavad Gita and third chapter of Bhagavad Gita and fourth chapter of Bhagavad Gita. Third chapter spoke mainly about Karma Yoga. Now fourth chapter of Nishkam Karma Yoga. And now fourth chapter spoke about how Nishkam Karma Yoga will lead to Jnana. So now what has happened is, in the fifth chapter of Bhagavad Gita, Arjuna is again confused. He's again confused. Krishna, you told, okay, at last you told me that I should give up all my doubts and fight. But now only you told that Jnana is so important. If you do Nishkam Karma Yoga, ultimately it will lead to Jnana, and then Jnana will make you freed from all bondage. But again at the end you said fight. I don't understand this. कभी आप बोलते हो कि बॉन्डेज से बचो, एक्शन मत करो, ज्ञान करो, और कभी आप कंक्लूजन में आप देते हो कि जैसे कि अगर आपको किसी ने बताया कि पढ़ाई करो, पढ़ाई करो, पढ़ाई करो, पढ़ाई करो, पूरे चैप्टर में बोला है पढ़ाई करो, पढ़ाई करो, और लास्ट में कंक्लूजन में बोला इसलिए मैं कह रहा हूँ कि आपको अभी जाके खेलना पड़ेगा। तो अर्जुन को ऐसा लगा, यार आपने पूरे फोर्थ चैप्टर में बोला पढ़ाई करो, पढ़ाई करो, पढ़ाई करो, और बाद में बोलते हो खेलने जाओ। क्या कंफ्यूजन नहीं आ रहा है? तो ही सेड भगवान के लिए खेलना और पढ़ाई करना एक समान है, ये बताने का कोशिश कर रहे हैं कृष्ण। लेकिन अर्जुन को ये कंफ्यूजन आ रहा है, अभी तक आपने बोला पढ़ाई करो, फिर से बोलते हो ये। तो फिफ्थ चैप्टर में अर्जुना इज आस्किंग अगेन द सेम क्वेश्चन विच ही आस्क्ड इन द थर्ड चैप्टर. So sometimes the third chapter and the fifth chapter appear to be similar. Karma Yoga, action, Karma Yoga, and fifth chapter is also Karma Yoga, action in Krishna consciousness. Seventh chapter and ninth chapter also appear little similar, because the Arjuna has got similar questions. तो seventh chapter में भी same question है, same theme है, ninth chapter में भी same theme है. Similarly, if you go to the latter chapter, 14 chapters and 17 chapter थोड़ा similar लगता है. क्यों? क्योंकि सेम थीम पे डिस्कशन हो रहा है, अर्जुन अपना डाउट्स क्लैरिफाई कर रहा है, तो कृष्णा सेम थीम पे फोकस कर रहा है लेकिन बहुत डीप डिटेल्स में दे रहे हैं. सो दैट्स व्हाई यू सी थर्ड चैप्टर, फिफ्थ चैप्टर, सेवेंथ चैप्टर, नाइन्थ चैप्टर एंड 14 चैप्टर, 17 चैप्टर ऑलमोस्ट सिमिलर जाएंगे, लेकिन ज्यादा डिटेल्स के साथ में आएगा. सो टुडे वी आर बिगिनिंग विद द फिफ्थ चैप्टर ऑफ भगवद गीता. सो बिफोर वी स्टार्ट, let's hear from the devotees, those who are prepared. Who is supposed to present today, bro?
Proj myself.
Okay.
Rishab.
So, okay, you can show the verse, you can present, and then we'll discuss.
Yes, great. Yes, Proj. We are starting the fifth chapter, chapter 5, Karma Yoga, action in Krishna consciousness. Slok number 5. Arjuna Uvacha Sannyasam Karmanam Krishna Punaryogam Samsasa Yatshreya iti ekam tanme brusu nishchitam. Translation. Arjuna said, O Krishna, out of O, O Krishna, first of all, you asked me to renunciate Okay. Oh Krishna, first of all you ask me to renounce work, and then again you recommend work with devotion. Now, will you kindly tell me definitely which of the two is more beneficial? But in this fifth chapter of Bhagavad Gita, the Lord says that work in devotional service is better than dry mental speculation. Devotional service is easier than the latter because being transcendental in nature, it's free one from reaction. In the second chapter, preliminary knowledge of the soul and its entanglement in the material body were explained. How to get off this material engagement by Buddhi Yoga or devotional service was also explained. In the third chapter, it was explained that a person who is situated on the platform of knowledge no longer has any duties to perform. And in the fourth chapter, the Lord told Arjuna that all kinds of sacrificial work culminate in knowledge. However, at the end of the fourth chapter, the Lord advised Arjuna to wake up and fight, being situated in perfect knowledge. Therefore, by simultaneously stressing the importance of both work in devotion and in inaction in knowledge, Krishna has perplexed Arjuna and confused his determination. Arjuna understood that renunciation in knowledge involves cessation of all kinds of work performed as sense activities. But if one performs work in devotional service, then how is work stopped? In other words, he thinks that sannyas or renunciation in knowledge should be altogether free from all kinds of activity because work and renunciation appears to him to be incompatible. He appears not to have understood that work in full knowledge is non-reactive and is therefore the same as inaction. He inquires, therefore, whether he should cease work altogether or work with full knowledge. So, as Prabhuji, you have already explained that Arjuna is again been confused that Krishna has already told him multiple times that he need to initially he told him to do work and the whatever work Arjuna will so the soul is doing will have entanglement beside him. And later, Krishna said to him that now you to renunciate everything. And at the end, Krishna is also saying him to so you need to again work. So now Arjuna is being confused in between should he work or should he renunciate. So in this thing, uh, Arjuna without any mental speculating, he again goes to Krishna and like a spiritual master, he approaches him and sorry, like a disciple, he approaches him and asks Krishna what he need to do now. And Krishna is explaining him what work he has to do. Arjuna is basically confused in doing material work, no work, and working for. He is not able to understand between doing material work, no work, and working for Krishna. Arjuna is basically confused in material work and working for Krishna. So Krishna is Prabhupada is explaining in the purport that doing no work is better than doing material work. You can renunciate if you are doing the material work. But again, working for devotion, working for Krishna is far more better. So Prabhupada has also given, Prabhupada has always told our parampara as devotional service, and he has never recommended it as only devotion. So the service which we are doing is in devotion to Krishna. So basically, that doesn't have any entanglement. So Arjuna, Krishna is telling him to work and rise to the knowledge, and after gaining knowledge, you need to again work. So Arjuna is again confused. In one chapter, Krishna, you are telling me to renunciate. In another chapter, you are telling me to work. So what I need to do? And we can see similarly when Vyasdev was writing the books, and he had written many of the books, so he was so much he was not satisfied. And when then Narad Muni approached him and seeing his disciple to be unsatisfied, he asked him, what is the issue? Why are you unsatisfied? So Vyasdev explained him that I have written so much of Shastras, but I am not able to get the satisfaction. So then Narad Muni gave him the knowledge that you have explained everything, but you have not given the main core what is required. So then Vyasdev understand what he need to do, and then he is doing the work for Krishna. He's writing the Srimad Bhagavatam, and then he's feeling satisfied. So similarly, when we are working for Krishna, we will be satisfied. So working has to be done either for Krishna or for matter. So we work for Krishna, and devotional service is all auspicious. and we means devotional service are auspicious. It doesn't have any entanglement in it. And devotional service is far better than impersonalism, because impersonalism you want to become God, but in devotional service you want to become you want to serve God, and by serving God you can become even greater than God. We can see the example of Yashoda and all the great devotees of Vrindavans. So
Yes, bro.
what things you can renounce as nothing? One quote is that what things you can renounce as nothing belongs to you, and what things can be inauspicious when everything is coming from the auspicious. So working in renounced order or working in devotional service is better than working in devotional service is far better.
Yeah, amazing. So this line was a very amazing line. Work in full knowledge is non-reactive. So there was one statement, I think it came, that work in the purport only it comes. Work in knowledge is non-reactive. So amazing, no? Prabhupada writes non-reactive. It doesn't cause any kind of reaction. And he said, therefore, it is same as inaction. So you give beautiful example of Vyasdev, that how Vyasdev was also confused, and then he approaches Narad Muni. And you give example of Arjuna. Arjuna getting confusion second time is again going and asking. He did not speculate mentally. So that was a sign of a sincere disciple, that when he was in confusion, he asked him. And here Arjuna's confusion is this, that whether I should work in devotion, and or whether I should just renounce. So beautifully, this you give nice comments about this entire first verse. So true. So basically, this entire the first verse has basically this theme only, Arjuna's confusion. So now we find that why do sometimes great souls also get confusion? So it is actually Krishna's plan that Arjuna remain confused, because their dialogue is taking place for our benefit, and it is not for Arjuna's confusion. So it is Arjuna's entire confusion of Bhagavad Gita is a chance for Krishna to stress that work and renunciation are not opposed to each other. That somebody is renounced and somebody is working. One should not think that they are both are doing, one is getting born to Maya and another is getting liberated. So it is said, what we have to renounce? We have to renounce the desire that we have something to renounce. We don't have anything to renounce. Basically, we don't possess anything only. So it is said we have to learn to renounce the desire to enjoy. That is what is being to be renounced. Means we have to learn to desire to enjoy. That is actually we can renounce. Otherwise, we don't have anything to renounce only, because we don't possess anything. So here Arjuna has been thinking that gnana means renunciation of work and knowledge. So, and like the light and darkness are opposite. So Arjuna started thinking that as light either अंधकार है या तो उजाला है. तो वैसे ही अर्जुन को लग रहा था either वर्क है या तो रिनाउंसिएशन है. दोनों एक कैसे हो सकता है? तो यहाँ पे कृष्ण बता रहे हैं knowledge, work done with knowledge is same as inaction, and that is better. That is better for you, Arjun. So that is what being is mentioned. Hmm? Thank you, Rishankru, for very nicely and very crisply, shortly you explained very nicely this entire purport. Haribo. So, okay. So we now go to the next shloka. Yes, whose turn to explain second one?
Prabhuji, me.
Yes, Prabhu. Go ahead.
Rishan Pro, can you share the screen? Actually, I'm connected through mobile.
Yes, bro.
श्रीभगवान् उवाच सन्न्यासं कर्मयोगश्च निःश्रेयस्कर्मानुभवो तस्य तु कर्मसन्न्यासः कर्मयोगविशिष्यते. The personality of Godhead replied, the renunciation of work and the work in devotion are both good for liberation. But of the two, work in devotional service is better than the renunciation of purpose. The fruitive activities, seeking sense gratification, are cause of the material bondage. As long as one is engaged in activities aimed at the improving the standard of bodily comfort, one is sure to transmigrate to different type of bodies, thereby the continuing material bondage perpetually. In Srimad Bhagavatam confirmed as following: Numam prapatam kurute vikrama yat indriya priyata
It's a
aparat.
shloka by Rishabh Dev. This is a very
Hmm.
beautiful series of shloka by Rishabh Dev. Nunam pramatta kurute vikarma yadindriya pritaya apanoti na sadhu manye yat atmano yam na sannapi klesha de ashadeha parabhavasta vadabhoda jato yavan jignasate atma tattvam yavat kriyastavadidam mano vai karmatmakam yena sharira bandha एवं मनः कर्म वशं प्रयुक्ते अविद्यात्मनि उपधीयमाने प्रीतिर्न यावन्मयि वासुदेवे न मुच्यते देहयोगेन तावत्.
People are mad after the self gratification, and they do not know that this present body is full of miseries. As in result, one's protective activities is the past. Although this body is temporary and it is always giving a trouble in the many ways. Therefore, to act for sense gratification is not good. One is considered to be the failure in life as long as he make no inquiry about his real identity. As long as he does not know his real identity, he has to work for productive result for the sense gratification. And as long as one is engrossed in the concept of sense gratification, one has to transmigrate from one body to another. Although the mind may be engrossed in productive activity and influenced by the ignorance, one must develop a love for devotional service to Vasudeva. Only then can one have the opportunity to get out of the bondage of material existence. Therefore, jnana, the knowledge that one is not in this material body but spiritual, is not sufficient for liberation. One has to act in the status of spirit soul. Otherwise, otherwise there is no escape from material bondage. Action in Krishna consciousness is not aware action on the fruitive platform. Activities performed in full knowledge strengthen one's advancement in real knowledge. Without Krishna consciousness, where renunciation of fruitive activity does not actually purify the heart of the conditioned soul. As long as the heart is not purified, one has to work on fruitive platform. But the action in Krishna consciousness automatically help one escape the result of fruitive action so that one need not to descend to the material platform. Therefore, the action in Krishna consciousness is always superior to renunciation, which always entail a risk of falling. Renunciation without Krishna consciousness is incomplete, as is confirmed by Sri Rupa Goswami in his Bhakti Rasamrita Sindhu 1.2.258. प्रपांसि कत्या बुद्ध्या हरि संभाति वास्तुतः मुमुक्षु विध परित्यागो वि- वैराग्यम फलतो कथयते. When person eager to achieve the liberation renounce things related to the supreme personality of Godhead, thinking them to be material, their renunciation is called incomplete. Renunciation is complete when it is the knowledge that everything is existing belong to the Lord, and that is no one should claim proprietorship over anything. One should understand that factually nothing belong to anyone. Then where is the question of renunciation? One who knows that everything is Krishna's property is always situated in renunciation. Since everything belongs to Krishna, everything should be employed in the service of Krishna. This perfect form of action in Krishna consciousness is far better than any amount of artificial renunciation by sannyasi of the Mayavad school. सॉरी प्रभु जी, एक्चुअली मैं कल 2-3 दिन से ट्रैवल कर रहा था तो इतना अच्छे से नहीं बता पाऊंगा, बट मैं ट्राई करता हूँ. तो फर्स्ट ऑफ ऑल ऋषभ प्रभु ने बहुत अच्छे से फर्स्ट श्लोका में बता दिया कि जो क्वेश्चन था कृष्णा को स्टार्टिंग में मीन्स फर्स्ट चैप्टर जो था भगवद गीता का कि क्वेश्चन ही क्वेश्चन थे उसमें। सेकंड चैप्टर में ओवरऑल समरी बताया भगवद गीता का, जैसे कि नॉलेज ऑफ सोल वगैरह का। थर्ड चैप्टर में कर्म योगा बताया, तो उसके लास्ट में फिर कर्म योगा के साथ कृष्णा कॉन्शियस वर्क का भी बताया। उसके सबसे लास्ट में मतलब थर्ड चैप्टर में आता है कि नॉलेज, मतलब वहां से फिर फोर्थ चैप्टर स्टार्ट होता है नॉलेज। तो नॉलेज के बाद अर्जुन कंफ्यूज हो जाता है कि क्या करना सही रहेगा, मतलब सब छोड़ दो और मतलब अलग जगह पे चले जाओ कि मतलब ये वर्क छोड़ दो, या फिर कृष्ण ने जो बताया था कि ये कर्म योगा मतलब कृष्णा कॉन्शियस वर्क करे। तो इसमें फिर प्रभुपाद ने इसमें फिर कृष्णा ने फिर बताया कि क्या बेटर रहेगा। तो मतलब बहुत चीजें बेटर है, बट सबसे बेटर है कि वर्क इन डिवोशनल सर्विसेज फार बेटर देन रिनाउंसिंग द वर्क। तो इसमें कॉर्पोरेट में प्रभुपाद ने बहुत अच्छे तरीके से बताया कि क्यों ज्ञाना इज इनसफिशिएंट फॉर लिबरेशन। बिकॉज जो फर्स्ट फर्स्ट पैरा में बताया, मतलब जो श्रीमद् भागवतम में आता है कि मोस्ट ऑफ द पीपल सेल्फ ग्रेटिफिकेशन के लगे, मतलब फ्रूटिटिव एक्टिविटी के पीछे लगे। तो उसमें फंस जाते हैं, जैसे कि जन्म मृत्यु के चक्कर में फंस जाते हैं कि जैसे कि कुछ वर्क करते हैं तो फिर उसमें अटक जाते हैं। तो उन लोगों को प्रॉपर नॉलेज नहीं होता है कि क्या होता है, तो वो सब कुछ करने के बाद फिर एट अ टाइम एक पॉइंट पे आता है कि उनको इससे बाहर निकलने के लिए कृष्णा की शरण लेनी चाहिए। तो उस टाइम पे उनको थोड़ा क्लिक हो जाता है नॉलेज के बारे में। तो इसमें बताया कि ये मटेरियल जो जन्म मृत्यु के चक्कर में नॉलेज सफिशिएंट नहीं है। नॉलेज से खाली हमें पता चलेगा, मतलब सपोज अभी नॉलेज से पता चलेगा कि ठीक है ये सही है, बट उनका उनको क्लियर हो गया, बट उनका जो कर्म है जो काफी जन्मों से करते हुए बैड वर्क वगैरह जो भी हो गया, तो वो छूटता नहीं है। तो वो छूटना नहीं, तो उससे कट जाएगा बट पूरा कंप्लीट नहीं होगा। तो इसलिए ज्ञाना सफिशिएंट नहीं है। जो भी वर्क कर रहे हो वो डिवोशनल सर्विस में होना चाहिए। तो सबसे लास्ट में तो प्रभुपाद मतलब जो रूप गोस्वामी जो बताते हैं कि जो भी वर्क होता है वो कृष्ण कॉन्शियस ही होना चाहिए, तब जाके वो फिर रिनाउंसिएशन भी कंप्लीट होता है और ये डिवोशनल सर्विस भी होता है। मीन्स इफ यू आर वर्किंग इन कृष्ण कॉन्शियस तो आप अपने आप नॉलेज भी आ जाता है।
Yeah,
ये सब
amazing. Jai, Jai, Jai. So he said, one has to understand that हमारा कुछ है नहीं तो renounce क्या करें हम? कुछ renounce करने को है ही नहीं, तो what we should renounce? So I said we have to renounce a desire. So here Rishabh Dev is speaking something very nice. So you mentioned about you the purport was so beautiful. So you gave a summary of all the three chapters, four chapters, and then now Arjuna's confusion. So so we find here this is the second time where Krishna has directly rejected that seeking perfection by dry vairagya and jnana. This is not better. Rather than that, do the recommended work. So he said ultimately the work also has the same goal and vairagya also has the same goal. But what is important? So is vairagya better or is work better? No. So what is better? The work done with vairagya is better. Again, I think आपको confusion हो रहा है. Is vairagya better or work better? So यहाँ पे बोल रहे हैं work done with vairagya is better. Don't just do work, don't just do vairagya, but the combination of both work done with vairagya is better. It is safer, it is easier, it is practical because somebody works in the knowledge, it will purify his heart and it will solidify whatever realization he has attained. So we know the very beautiful pastime of Dasharathi. Dasharathi had some question to be asked, and Shripad Ramanacharya asked him to go and do vessel washing and do menial services. So it is said, work done in devotion solidifies our realization. It makes our realization very, very pakka. And so he said, the karma sannyasi means what? Karma sannyasi means he will not do any work. So in case if again material desires come to him, then he will be clean bold because he has material desires, but he has given up all kinds of work. So that's why detached work is more practical path of renunciation. That is what Sri Baldev Buddha Bhushan is talking about here, and Prabhupada, all acharyas are telling that work with vairagya. It is said that is the way of strengthening one's knowledge. So now my question to all of you here, Rishabh Dev is Rishabh Dev is very nicely talking about one thing, the Nunam Pramatta Kurute Vikarma, that all shloka came. So I just have one question for all the devotees now. Here it is said that people are mad after sense gratification, and they do not know that the present body, which is full of miseries, is causing so much trouble. So he said to act for sense gratification is not at all good. And if one continues to fail in life, he said to continue in sense gratification, then it is said his life is failure. So now my question to all of the devotees here is, because I'm just taking some inputs, that what do you feel? What a person who is not able to give up the process of sense gratification should do? Like, despite of hearing Bhagavad Gita, despite of reading, despite of getting the knowledge of the soul, despite of chanting, despite of everything, if a person is not able to give up the process of sense gratification, then what one should do? I hope my question is very clear. Okay.
We can regulate.
My question is, if person is not able to, a devotee is not able to give up the process of sense gratification, then what one should do? Means although he has known that sense gratification is miserable, sense gratification leads to the bondage, sense gratification will continue his material life, then if he is not able to give up the process of sense gratification despite of all these things, then what one should do? Yes, Kunal bro.
Hare Krishna Prabhuji. Prabhuji, Prabhupada in so many purports, he says that even one may be not able to give up his uh, sinful habits due to past life conditionings, but still the process of devotional service is so powerful that in due course of time, gradually one's sinful tendencies, proclivity, ignorance, illusion, everything will be eradicated. So only thing one has to faithfully continue and not give up devotional service.
Yeah, very good. Thank you. Any other devotee? Yes, Kaushik bro.
In first canto of Srimad Bhagavatam, Prabhupada says that one who is who is pure in his mind should be pure in his actions, and purity in action can come from purity in eating, sleeping, meeting, and defending, something like this. So, if one is not able to stop sense gratification, he should regulate according to the rules and regulations of Vedas. In this way, if he do, automatically over the period of time, he will give up sense gratification by regulating
Okay.
it.
Yeah. Okay. Yashank bro.
Prabhuji, first of all, he should not stop reading, hearing, and all the activities. And on the second part, he should go and approach to a superior, who might be his counselor or well-wisher, and tell him what the truth is, and take the guidance from him. So that will help him more.
Okay, thank you. Omkar bro is also saying same thing. Okay, Tejas bro.
Prabhuji, in the sequence of verses of Rishabh Dev, in means the translation that Prabhupada has given there, it is written that although the mind may be engrossed in fruity activities and influenced by ignorance, one must develop a love for devotional service to Asudeva. Means we should continue doing devotional service even if we have those propensities.
Yeah, correct. Yes, Abhinandan bro.
It's to just same like going on in the devotional service, but with the heavy engagement of the services. Because once the services are there, then we try to please the superiors, and naturally the blessings or mercy will flow down, and that's how we can control.
Okay, amazing. Satyanarayan bro.
Hare Krishna, Prabhu. Prabhu, as everyone said, like in my personal opinion, one thing I've observed ki mostly this type of attitude only comes when one takes chanting and the process of bhakti grantedly. Although he's following for the sake of associate in the because he's staying in the sake of association, or he understand that it is the right thing to do. But many a times it is missed out that he needs gravity and he needs to contemplate and think that what ultimately it should do. And when he contemplates that thing and understands with full faith and determination that okay, the ultimate thing is I have to practice bhakti, and accordingly I have to align everything. So I guess bro, this thought of contemplating and being a like Radhesham Prabhu in his 10 instructions says that we should be a japa scientist. If he contemplates on chanting more and more and understands that what is the ultimate thing and daily meditate upon it at least 10 minutes, I guess that might help on a very practical level, Prabhuji.
Okay, okay. Ishwar bro is telling param drishtva nivartate. Now, what happens is sometimes sadhaka is in a very difficult stages of life. Sadhaka is chanting also, he's reading also, he's worshipping deities also, he is actually reading Bhagavatam also, he's associating with devotees also, and he's trying to chant extra rounds also, he's trying to pray also, but still we find that he's not able to give the sense gratification process. Okay, somebody said raised hand, Vaibhav Proof. Okay,
Yes, Prabhuji, you always said the we are struggler साधका. तो ये सब चीजें तो होती मतलब अप एंड डाउन चलता रहेगा तो बट मोस्ट ऑफ द आचार्य ऑलवेज रिकमेंड दैट यू शुड बी हाई योर साधना means means in morning program it's very important to continue our devotional service means
yeah,
morning program perfect रहेगा तो means
yes,
obviously we are struggle साधका तो बाहर जाके थोड़ा होगा bit we are continue then automatically it will see the some purification in your heart.
yeah. अभी अमेजिंग चीज है, ये व्यक्ति 64 राउंड्स भी कर लेता है, 64 राउंड्स भी करता है, साधना भी 6 घंटा करता है, सब कुछ करता है, तो भी बेचारा छोड़ नहीं पा रहा है सेंस ग्रेटिफिकेशन को. यस कौशिक प्रो.
In the verse, in 11th canto, one verse comes, Parasparano Katanam Pavanam Bhagavatesha. In that verse, in Purport, it is written that when devotees come together with each other and glorify the Supreme Lord, then they give up the sense gratification, which is the cause of all suffering. And in the Purport, Prabhupada describes right here that when devotees associate with such devotees who have given up sense gratification, then they say that, oh, I've given up sense gratification, starting from today, I will also give it up. And
Yes,
if they
yes.
associate with very powerful devotees, automatically they lose taste for sense gratification.
Jai, amazing. So online we have also got many comments. Online some devotees are writing, regularize and reduce sense gratification. Param drishtwani vartate. One should associate with superior. Sahil Prabhu is writing, regulate. Ashish Prabhu is saying, you should not have any free time other than seva. Should do more service in Krishna consciousness. Stick, dovetail, yuktahara. Okay, many devotees are writing. So, one very important thing is the attitude with which all these things are done. As the purport also says here, many times a devotee is doing bhakti, is chanting 64 rounds to get rid of anarthas. He's chanting, reading, hearing to get rid of anarthas. So, in one way, it is okay if it is done. But the actual motto behind doing all this our bhakti is not jnana. It's not vairagya. It is love of God. It is pleasure of Lord. So if somebody is serving to do pleasure of God, like somebody is just for the pleasure of Lord he's doing, and not with the motto of moksha. Sometimes our bhakti also gets a tendency to be having the tendency of moksha. If that tendency comes, I want to just get rid of the suffering, just get rid of the suffering and all the nonsense what I've been doing. So many times this happens, but that is not the final stage. He said the final stage is work in devotion means devotional service. He said, I want to render service. Okay, I may take some few more lifetimes to come to the right stage. I may not be very pure devotee in this life, but at least Krishna has given me opportunity to render service in this life. So let me go on. Let me go on. I'll try my best. I'll pray. I'll chant. I'll hear. I'll do service to the Vaishnavas. Now it is in Krishna's hand that whether he wants to purify me or he wants to purify me and give me freedom from the suffering which I am going on, whether he wants to give me in this life, next life, whenever. But at least my opportunity to render seva is not being taken away. So, like that, a devotee should continue, as all of you said. And one statement where he says, Bhakti Prem Maharaj says, जो सहेगा वो रहेगा. He said, जो भक्ति में सहता है वो भी रह भी लेता है. तो सहेगा तो रहेगा, नहीं तो चला जाएगा. They said we have to continue and be happy that I am given an opportunity to associate with Vaishnavas. I am given opportunity to continue bhakti, render service. They said a devotee should be happy about this. Okay. I think we are going slow. Third verse. So the conclusion of the second shloka is try vairagya is not good, but work in devotion is better. So similar theme is being spoken again here that karma yoga is equal but easier than sannyas. Karma yoga is better than sannyas. That is what is being mentioned here. Now, third shloka. Yes, Prabhu, third shloka.
Yes, Prabhuji. ज्ञेयाय नित्य सन्यासी यो न द्वेष्टि न कांक्षति नृदन् द्वदन्तो हि महाबाहो सुखं बन्धात् pramuchyate. Translation: one who neither hates nor desires the fruits of his activities is known to be always renounced. Such a person, free from all dualities, easily overcomes material bondage and is completely liberated, O mighty armed Arjuna. Purport: one who is fully in Krishna consciousness is always a renouncer because he feels neither hatred nor desire for the result of his action. Such a renouncer dedicates the transcendental loving service of the Lord, is fully qualified in knowledge because he knows his constitutional position in his relationship with Krishna. He knows fully well that Krishna is the whole and that he is part and parcel of Krishna. Such knowledge is perfect because it is qualitatively and quantitatively correct. The concept of oneness with Krishna is incorrect because the part cannot be equal to the whole. Knowledge that one is one in quality, yet different in quantity, is correct transcendental knowledge, leading one to become full in himself, having nothing to aspire to or lament over. There is no duality in his mind because whatever he does for Krishna. Being thus freed from platform of dualities, he is liberated even in this material world. So in this verse, Krishna talks about the qualities of renunciation. Means, who is a true yogi, who is true sannyasi. So the true sannyasi is that person who is not attached to his work, means who is not attached and aversion. So Nitya Sannyasi means real sannyasi is not having giving up the work or dressing in saffron instead of it is working with detachment. Then Krishna talks about na dveshati na kanshati, means don't hate and don't desire for anything. One who works with attachment without attachment and aversion rise above emotional thugs of war. So that is the true sannyasi. A true sannyasi is free from attachment and aversion. They, he does not crave for result in any circumstances. Such a person is remains unaffected by the outcome of the result. Then Krishna talks about nirdvando, means beyond dualities, not disturbed by the dualities. Dualities in this material world like pleasure and pain, then success and failure, gain and loss, happiness and distress, honor and dishonor. So these are the dualities of this material world. And if a person is attached by this duality, then he's attached to the reaction of the karma. So, but true sannyasi is equipoised, is not affected by the dualities. Yet he is fully focused on the action, not in the outcome of the action. And then again, Krishna talks about what is the benefit of that. So, such a person is freedom from all the bondage and joyfully liberated very easily because he is not entangled in karma. Then he dedicates his result to the God and he develops inner peace while actively, externally active. Then we can take some example like Arjuna. Initially, means before reading, before listening to the Bhagavad Gita, he was confused. He was attached to Bhishma Deva and he had aversion to Duryodhana. And he was not ready to fight also. And that he was thinking that this is the dharma. But Krishna corrected him. So dharma is not about escaping from the work, but working with detachment. Then Arjuna understand and started to work. So that is the true example of true sannyasi. Then we can take the example of our Prabhupada. Prabhupada also at the old age with no money, with no institutional support, he traveled a lot and then he had to face like a lot of health issue, cultural issue, rejections, everything. But he was very dedicated and he did his service uh, in the he did the service for Krishna with pure devotion. So Yes, Prabhuji.
You are muted.
You are mute.
So very nice example of Srila Prabhupada. So here the definition is who is a true sannyasi. So as Prabhuji very nicely mentioned, who is a nitya sannyasi, who is a true sannyasi. So he said the definition of a true sannyasi is given here. So all of us should become take sannyas. Sometimes डिवोटी को बोला प्रभु जी आप में से कितने लोगों को संन्यास लेने की इच्छा है. सब डर गए. प्रभु जी नहीं प्रभु जी मैं तो एनएस में हूँ प्रभु जी मैं कैसे संन्यास लूंगा. नहीं, all of us are meant for sannyas ashram only, not GS, no NS, only one and sannyas ashram. What is a sannyas? And everyone can take sannyas ashram, whether brahmachari, grahastha, everyone is a sannyasi. How? That is by we have to become nitya sannyasi. And what is meaning of nitya sannyasi? It is said nitya sannyasi is actually uh, one who renounces the fruits of his activity. And he said, so he works with detachment. He works with vairagya. He works with renunciation. So he does work, but with renunciation. So some qualities are mentioned here. So he neither hates nor desires the fruits of his activity. जनरली व्हेन वी डू एनी काइंड ऑफ वर्क वी आर टू फ्रूटिव. क्या मिलेगा मुझे इसमें, मेरा क्या फायदा होगा, इसमें क्या लिखा क्या है, फ्रूट्स 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 फ्रूट्स, हर बार फ्रूट्स, अरे कुछ नहीं होगा. तो ही सेड, और उसको रिजल्ट न आने पर बेचारा फ्रस्ट्रेट होता है, क्या फायदा करके सब कुछ काम करके फायदा ही क्या, कुछ हुआ ही नहीं मतलब. सो ही हेट्स, आइदर ही हेट्स और ही हैज टू मच एक्सपेक्टेशंस. सो ही सेड that is first definition of sannyasi. He neither hates nor desires. He does on the platform of duty. Then even if dualities come in his life, sometimes success will come, sometimes honor will come, sometimes failures will come, he said he is not very disturbed. He's focused on working for the pleasure of Lord. He said such a person is a true sannyasi. And as Prabhuji gave a beautiful example of Srila Prabhupada, so all of us know, once upon a time in London, if you go, there is a very special mansion called as Fisher Mansion. You might be knowing about this mansion, Fisher Mansion, right now. So once upon a time, Srila Prabhupada was walking on the road, and Prabhupada used to again and again look at that building. Arey, this building is so nice, Fisher Mansion. I can show you photos also. It's really nice. Now also, if you see, it is so nice. So huge palace, huge old church kind of palace. Church है पूरा. It is said even जो बाथरूम है ना, बाथरूम में गोल्ड प्लेटिंग यूज किया गया है. बाथरूम जो टाइल्स होती है, टाइल्स के बीच में जो ऐसे गैप होती है, उसमें गोल्डन प्लेटिंग का ये मारा हुआ है उन्होंने, गोल्डन प्लेटिंग के लाइंस मारे वाले हैं, जैसे बॉर्डर बनाया गोल्डन प्लेटिंग की बॉर्डर. तो प्रभुपाद को इतना अच्छा लगा. बट समहाउ क्या था, ये चर्च बंद हो गया था पूरी तरह, कोई आता नहीं था इस मैंशन के अंदर. समहाउ एकदम आइसोलेटेड रिमोट एरिया में होने की वजह से कोई आ नहीं रहा था. और एजेंट्स लोगों को भी बहुत दिक्कत हो रही थी बेचने के लिए, जो ब्रोकर था. तो एक बार प्रभुपाद और डिवोटिस ने बोला, ब्रोकर खुश हो गया. तो ब्रोकर इतना खुश हो गया कि कोई तो आया कस्टमर, कोई मिलता ही नहीं था कस्टमर इस बिल्डिंग को बेचने के लिए. और प्रभुपाद प्रभुपाद देख रहे हैं, और प्रभुपाद दो लोगों को लेके चले गए, एक अम्बरीश प्रभु और दूसरा सुवर्णलेखा माता जी. सुवर्णलेखा नहीं नहीं, क्या नाम था उसका, सुवर्णलेखा कौन सी लेखा, माता जी का नाम भूल गया मैं. तो श्रमलेखा सुवर्णलेखा कुछ तो माता जी का नाम है. तो उन दोनों को लेके चले गए प्रभुपाद. अभी अमेजिंग चीज हुआ, प्रभुपाद बोल रहे वाह क्या बिल्डिंग है, परफेक्टली यहाँ पे हम टेम्पल बनाएंगे, यहाँ पे हम अल्टर बनाएंगे, यहाँ पे हमारा गैरेज बनाएंगे, यहाँ पे हम बुक गोडाउन बनाएंगे. और ब्रोकर का इतना एक्साइटमेंट बढ़ रहा है, वाह क्या बात है, क्या कस्टमर मिला है, इसको इतना पसंद आ रहा है. बोले ये क्या पैलेस है, ये तो राजाओं के लिए बना हुआ है पैलेस, प्रभुपाद बोले. तो इसको लगा कि वाह क्या मतलब, प्रभुपाद को बहुत पसंद आ रहा है और उसको समझ रहा है इसका वैल्यू कितना ज्यादा होगा, कितना राजघराने का पैलेस लगता है ये तो प्रभुपाद ने फाइनली डिस्कशन किया कि क्या रेंट है इसका, इसका कितना कॉस्ट होगा. तो उसने उसने बोला कुछ तो बहुत बड़ा कॉस्ट बोला उसने, 100 सम फ्यू मिलियन डॉलर्स बोला उसने, फ्यू मिलियन डॉलर्स बोला उसने. तो प्रभुपाद बोले ओह अमेजिंग, actually this palace is meant for kings, but we are the beggars. Can you do something so that we can get this for free? और ऐसा बार्गेन आज तक उसके जीवन में उसने देखा नहीं था. और $1 million से लेके प्रभुपाद बोलते हैं फ्री में दे दीजिए, फ्री में. तो वो शॉक हो गया. और प्रभुपाद मस्त देख रही है, अच्छा है वो अच्छा है. और ये ब्रोकर एजेंट बेचारा कंफ्यूज हो गया क्या बोल रहे प्रभुपाद. तो प्रभुपाद अमरीश प्रभु की तरफ देख रहे हैं, और वो अमरीश प्रभु की तरफ देख रहा है, महाराज जी की तरफ देख रहा है, बोले, वो बोले हम कुछ नहीं कर सकते, हमारे गुरु है ये, और बोले कि हम कुछ नहीं कर सकते। तो फाइनली उसने उससे समझने के बाद उन्होंने अमरीश प्रभु ने बार्गेनिंग चालू किया, कितना कम, कितना कम, कितना कम, तो बहुत कम 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 कर करके, तो प्रभुपाद ने फाइनली बोला, अमरीश प्रभु को पूछा, आपके पास कितना कितना डॉलर्स है? बोले, प्रभुपाद मैक्स टू मैक्स आई कैन गिव $2 लाख, दैट्स ऑल। और इनसे पूछा, आप कितना दे सकते हो? माता जी को पूछा, बोले मैं भी $2 लाख तक दे सकती हूँ। बोले, तो बोले देखो भाई, मैक्स टू मैक्स $4 लाख तक दे सकते हैं हम, उसके ऊपर बिल्कुल नहीं दे सकते हम। तो वो बोला ठीक है। तो उसको भी कंफ्यूजन होने लगा, यार कोई तो कस्टमर मिला इतना दे रहा है, पहले जा ही नहीं रहा था, 1-2 साल से बिल्डिंग जा ही नहीं रहा था। उसने बिना सोचे समझे हाँ बोल दिया, ले लो। अभी दे दिया, बिल्डिंग साइन हो गया, एग्रीमेंट साइन हो गया, सब कुछ हो गया। और अमेजिंग बाद में क्या हुआ, 2 दिन बाद फिर से कॉल आता है, यार तुम और क्योंकि वो पूरे बिल्डिंग में सोने के शैंडिलियर, सोना का बिल्डिंग, सोने का कोटिंग, सब कुछ, रियली इट वाज वेरी कॉस्टली, टू मच कॉस्टली इट वाज। तो बोले, उसका कॉल आया एजेंट का, लगता है आपके गुरु ने मुझे चीट कर दिया है। अरे ये तो धोखा दिया है मुझे, मतलब ये बिल्डिंग बहुत महंगा था, लेकिन ये तो ब्लैक मैजिक करके या जादू करके हिप्नोटाइज करके ले लिया बोले मेरे से। तो उसने ट्रक भेजा, सारा गोल्ड निकालने के लिए, गोल्डन टैप्स निकालने के लिए, शैंडिलियर निकालने के लिए ट्रक भेजा ताकि निकाल ले। और ड्यूटी को, ऐसा नहीं, हमारा डील हुआ है, कुछ भी निकलेगा नहीं इस बिल्डिंग से, डील फाइनल हो गया है। बाद में वो भी सोचने लगा कि कैसे कैसे हुआ, ये बिल्डिंग मिल दिया है कैसे $4 लाख में, दिस इज टू स्मॉल। This you see, Prabhupada was dealing with money, Prabhupada was dealing with properties, Prabhupada was dealing with everything, but he's still considered to be a true sannyasi because he's worked in devotion. That is the beauty of Srila Prabhupada. And not that he renounced everything. Oh, this money is bad and this is not good. No, Prabhupada is satisfied true sannyasi, one who works with the sense of devotion. Okay, just two more shlokas we'll take for today, till third and fourth and fifth, then we'll stop. So this third shloka speaks about, title of the third shloka is, who is a true sannyasi. Hmm? Okay, fourth one. Whose turn, Prabhu? Please read.
Harish and Guruji. Guruji, it was my turn, but actually I'm in bus, so
Okay,
uh,
okay. Fifth shloka किसका है? Fifth shloka?
Guruji, mine.
Okay, please read. Fourth and fifth both you cover.
Okay. सांख्योगो पृथक् बाल प्रवदन्ति न पंडित एकमपि अस्ति सम्यक् उभयोर्विन्दते फलम्. Translation: Only the ignorant speak of devotional service, karma yoga, as being different from the analytical study of material world, Sankhya. Those who are actually learned say that he who applies himself well to one of these paths achieves the result of both. Purport: The aim of analytical study of the material world is to find the soul of existence. The soul of material world is Vishnu, or the super soul. Devotional service to the Lord entails service to the super soul. One process is to find the root of the tree, and the other is to water the root. The real student of Sankhya philosophy finds the root of the material world, Vishnu, and then in perfect knowledge engages himself in the service of the Lord. Therefore, in essence, there is no difference between the two because the aim of both is Vishnu. Those who do not know the ultimate end say that the purpose of Sankhya and Karma Yoga are not the same. But one who is learned knows the unifying aim in these different processes.
Okay,
So
you can
here,
read the, you can read fifth one also. Fifth one also you read, and then you can discuss. Yeah.
यत् सांख्ये प्राप्ते स्थानं तद् योगैरपि गम्यते एकं सांख्यं च योगं च यः पश्यति स पश्यति. So beginning with this verse only, yat sankhya prapte sthanam means here they are telling sthanam the place, prapte that is obtained by doing sankhya, or that is sankhya here is explained as jnana. Tad yogerapi gamyate. The same position will be attained by yoga. Yoga Prabhupada is translating it as devotional service. It is actually Nishkarma Karma Yoga, but for attachment to Krishna, Prabhupada is telling it as devotional service. Ekam Sankyam cha Yogam cha Yah Pashyati Pashyati means those who understand that these both are similar, he sees everything. So translation, one who knows that the position reached by means of analytical study can also be attained by devotional service, and who therefore sees analytical study and devotional service to be on the same level, see things as they are. Purport, the real purpose of philosophical research is to find the ultimate goal of life. Since the ultimate goal of life is self-realization, there is no difference between the conclusion reached by the two processes. By Sankhya philosophical research, one comes to the conclusion that living entity is not a part and parcel of material world, but of the supreme spirit soul. Consequently, the spirit soul has nothing to do with the material world. His action must be in some relation with the supreme. When he acts in Krishna consciousness, he is actually in his constitutional position. In the first process, Sankhya, one has to become detached from matter. And in the devotional yoga process, one has to attach himself to the work of Krishna consciousness. Actually, both processes are the same. Although superficially one process appears to involve detachment, another process appears to involve attachment. Detachment from matter and attachment to Krishna are one and the same. One who can see things as they are. So in fourth verse, that it is stated that devotional service, this Karma Yoga and Sankhya are the same, because Prabhupada is writing that the aim of the Sankhya Yoga is to find the soul of existence, that is Vishnu. And in devotional service also, like we provide service to Vishnu. Then there in purport also Prabhupada is mentioning that in Sankhya Yoga we find the tree, root of the tree, whereas in devotional service we are watering the tree. So Prabhupada is also telling that then after finding the tree in Sankhya Yoga, one will also means perform service to it. So both are same. And with regard to this verse in Surrender Unto Me, Gurujan Prabhu also gives example of like one person has stone in hand and he wants to take a axe. So if he has to take that axe, he will have to leave the stone. Means leaving the stone or taking the axe is same, he says. Means he means to say that both processes means the result is same, that either we have to take the axe, we have to leave the stone or take the axe. Means the result will be same. This is what he wants to say. And in second also it is stated that both Sankhya Yoga and devotional service are on the same level. But then also in that, if they both are on the same level, then it is better to perform devotional service. Because if we just renunciate without purifying our heart, then we cannot actually do renunciation. So it is better to perform work with in a detached state.
Jai. Very nice. Very nice. He shared the example of Gurujan Prabhu giving that stone and axe wala example. Very nice example. I heard similar example. Once there was a small child, and this small child was not ready to give up a balloon. He was always playing with balloon. So one way to give, he was not giving balloon. उसको बोला balloon छोड़, balloon छोड़, balloon छोड़, balloon छोड़. अभी उस छोटे बच्चे के हाथ से balloon आपको छीनना है. तो आपका क्या करे, उसको छोड़ ही नहीं रहा है, balloon को हमेशा लेके घूमता है. तो कोई एक डिवोटी को पूछा मैंने क्या करना चाहिए, तो एक डिवोटी बोला बलून को फोड़ दो प्रभु. बोला अरे बलून को फोड़ दो, बेचारा रोएगा, वो कितना बुरी तरह रोएगा, उसका बलून ही फोड़ दिया आपने. तो दिस इज लाइक क्या कहते हैं, छीन लो, वैराग्य लाओ, ज्ञान लाओ, ज्ञान से एकदम छोड़ दो उसको, फुब ना रहेगा बलून, ना रहेगा अटैचमेंट, हट जाएगा. दिस इज कॉल्ड एज दिस वन. बट ही वॉज नॉट गिविंग अप बलून. अनदर डिवोटी व्हेन आई आस्क्ड व्हाट करना, क्या करना चाहिए, बलून छोड़ दो, तो बोले प्रभु जी ऑटोमेटिक खेलने दो बलून के साथ ही उसको. कि क्या होगा, खेलते 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 क्या हो जाएगा, एक दिन बलून ऑटोमेटिक उसका हवा निकल जाएगा, फंस जाएगा. तो दिस इज लाइक अ भोग. खेलने दो खेलने दो खेलने दो, एंजॉय करने दो उसको, इतना एंजॉय करने दो कि एक दिन चला जाएगा. तो फिर तो कुछ तो उसको डिटैचमेंट आ जाएगा. लेकिन तीसरा ड्यूटी को पूछा, मैं बोलूँ बलून को निकालना है उसके हाथ से, क्या करना पड़ेगा? वो ड्यूटी बोला अब उसको टेडी बियर दे दो। तो टेडी बियर दे दोगे तो क्या होगा? टेडी बियर को गले लगाएगा तो बलून छोड़ देगा। तो अब तो इसमें कृष्णा कॉन्शियसनेस का कंपैरिजन किया गया है, टेडी बियर दे दो उसको। टेडी बियर दे दो मतलब कुछ तो अच्छा दे दो, एक्शन इन कृष्णा कॉन्शियसनेस दे दो। अभी एदर टेडी बियर पकड़ेगा तो बलून पकड़ेगा कोई। अभी कुछ कुछ लोग क्या करते हैं, कुछ कुछ लोग एक हाथ से बलून को पकड़ते हैं और एक हाथ से टेडी बियर को पकड़ते हैं, वो छोड़ते नहीं है। लेकिन उसको अभी उसको ऐसा आइटम देना पड़ेगा, इतना अच्छा एंगेजमेंट देना पड़ेगा कि दोनों हाथ उसके लग जाए टेडी बियर को गले लगाने के लिए, ताकि फिर वो बलून छूट जाए हाथ से। नहीं तो हम लोग, हमारा भी वैसा अवस्था है, दोनों को पकड़ के रखा है हमने, टेडी बियर को भी पकड़ा है, बलून को भी पकड़ा है। सो व्हाट एग्जांपल तेजस्वी सेड, द फोकस इज गिव अप द स्टोन बोलो या तो टेक अप द एक्स बोलो। अभी एक्स लेगा, एक हाथ से तो कुल्हाड़ी मार नहीं सकता हो। यहाँ पे एक्स का एग्जांपल इसलिए दिया कि उसको दोनों हाथ से मारना पड़ेगा। तो जब ऐसा करेगा तो पत्थर छूट ही जाएगा हाथ से। दिस इज अ वेरी दैट एग्जांपल। सो इस दो श्लोकों में दो चीज ही बताई गई है, कर्मयोग और संन्यास दोनों सेम ही है, दोनों सेम है। अगर मैं किसी को बोलूँ कर्मयोग करूँ या किसी को मैं बोलूँ संन्यास बोलूँ, लेकिन दिस इज बेटर, निष्काम कर्मयोग जो यहाँ पे बताया है, दैट इज वेरी बेटर। यस, somebody raise the hand.
Yes, Guruji. Like here it is mentioned, bro, like Sankhya Yoga and Karma Yoga. Like they both are same, similar. The goal is similar, but the process is different. So, bro, like how much in our Krishna consciousness Prabhupada has included the Sankhya Yoga? Because if you see the deity worship or philosophical understanding, some parts of Sankhya philosophy also comes like 1, 2, 3 or 4, 2, 3. We go with like. So is it also included in this
ओहो,
Sankhya philosophy? No.
सांख्य सांख्य योग का मतलब वो नहीं है प्रभु, सांख्य योग अलग चीज है। सांख्य योग मीन्स, देखो अभी आपने डिवाइस सेशन अटेंड किया, डिवाइस सेशन में आपने वो देखा था, क्या क्या कहते हैं, हम बताते हैं तीन प्रकार की बॉडी, ग्रॉस बॉडी,
Gross
सटल
bodies.
बॉडी एंड ग्रॉस बॉडी, सटल बॉडी, सोल। ग्रॉस बॉडी इज कंपेयर टू बनियान एंड सोल इज नहीं, ग्रॉस बॉडी इज कंपेयर टू द टी शर्ट एंड द सोल, सटल बॉडी इज कंपेयर टू द बनियान एंड द सोल इज कंपेयर टू द पर्सन इनसाइड द बनियान। हम देखते हैं ना ये सारा चीजें, कंप्यूटर, माइक्रो प्रोसेसर, एंटीवायरस, ऐसे अलग अलग एग्जांपल देखते हैं, कार, ड्राइवर। तो ये एक प्रकार से अनुमान जो सांख्य होता है, गिनने का पूरा एनालिटिकल स्टडी जो होता है, ये ऐसा है वैसा है, दैट इज कॉल्ड एज सांख्य। तो थोड़ा थोड़ा सांख्य सांख्य का टीचिंग्स हम भी लेते हैं, दैट जस्ट टू गेट सम सॉर्ट ऑफ क्लैरिटी एंड दिस सांख्य मीन्स गिनना, कि हर चीज को 24 एलिमेंट्स में डिवाइड करना। जैसे कि अगर मुझे लैपटॉप से वैराग्य प्रोड्यूस, अगर मुझे मेरे लैपटॉप से बहुत अटैचमेंट हो रहा है और मैं चाहता हूँ कि मेरे लैपटॉप से मुझे डिटैचमेंट प्रोड्यूस करना है, जाना दो, छोड़ दो, लैपटॉप आपको समझेगा नहीं। चलो किसी को रसगुल्ला, या किसी को रसगुल्ला या तो एकदम केक से डिटैचमेंट प्रोड्यूस करना है, केक, बहुत सुंदर केक, जब भी केक आता है उसको बेचारा सेंस कंट्रोल हो जाता, होता हो नहीं पाता। तो सांख्य योग मतलब क्या, केक से डिटैचमेंट कैसे प्रोड्यूस किया जाए, सांख्य योग में क्या होगा? उसको
केक
24
की
एलिमेंट्स में डिवाइड कर, क्या
हाँ,
क्या?
उसको जो केक के जो इंग्रेडिएंट्स रहते हैं ना वो सेपरेट सेपरेट करके दे दो ऐसा।
हाँ, मतलब केक अल्टीमेटली किससे बना है? मैदा। चलो एक पॉकेट में मैदा रख दो। दूसरा केक और किससे बना है? चलो केक के अंदर फिर अभी है शुगर, शुगर अलग दे दो, घी दे दो, मैदा दे दो, ये दे दो, पाउडर दे दो, वैनिला एसेंस दे दो। अभी 15 बाउल्स दे दो, बोलना अब आपको अट्रैक्शन हो रहा है क्या फील? तो बोले नहीं, अब क्या ऐसा केक नहीं है ये। बोले अल्टीमेटली केक मतलब यही चीज है। तो जैसे लिक्विड ब्यूटी स्टोरी जो आती है, दैट इज लिक्विड ब्यूटी स्टोरी इज अ सांख्य। पूरा ब्यूटी को सांख्य डिवाइड कर दिया, स्टूल, वोमिट, यूरिन, ब्लड में। तो दैट इज सांख्य योगा। हाँ, तो आपका क्वेश्चन क्या था? प्रभुपाद ने सांख्य योग को इंक्लूड किया है, प्रभुपाद ने सांख्य योग का यूज किया है
Yes.
प्रीचिंग करने के लिए?
Which basically like Sankhya philosophy is like understanding about the ultimate only, but the like it will like disperse the whole like content or whatever things are as you given the example of cake. So through that one has to get detached. I mean Sankhya philosophy leads to detachment from the matter.
या सो व्हाट इज अ वास्तव वस्तु एंड व्हाट इज एन अनवास्तव वस्तु, मतलब फाइनल कंक्लूजन आना चाहिए कि ये शरीर कुछ काम का नहीं है, अल्टीमेटली आत्मा ही सब कुछ है और आत्मा के साथ में परमात्मा है, इतना कंक्लूजन आएगा। लेकिन भक्ति मतलब शुरुआत ही इधर से होगा, परमात्मा है, भगवान है, अभी आप वाटर करो। तो सांख्योग मतलब पूरा झाड़ को तोड़ फोड़ के डाइसेक्शन करने के बाद कंक्लूजन आएगा कि रूट सबसे इंपॉर्टेंट है, रूट पे पानी डाल, रूट रूट इंपॉर्टेंट है। भक्ति शुरू होगा नहीं, रूट इंपॉर्टेंट नहीं है, रूट को पानी डालना इंपॉर्टेंट है, यहाँ पे कंक्लूजन आएगा. So understood the difference, that is bhakti and sankhya. Yes, Kaushik Pro.
Prabhuji, watering the roots of the tree and finding the roots of the tree, these two things are different things, right? Finding
Yeah.
Sankhya Yoga will lead to the understanding that I am not this body, I am soul, and I should engage. But Bhakti
Yes.
Yoga means to bring Lord. तो प्रभु जी फिर ऐसा क्यों बोला गया कि दोनों का एंड सेम ही है? क्योंकि एक चीज एनालिटिकली अपने को कंक्लूजन तक पहुंचा रही है कि बॉडी नहीं है, सोल है, पर एक चीज बता रही है कि सामने सर्व कैसे करना लव के साथ. बट सांख्य योगा लव के बारे में बात नहीं कर रहा है, तो फिर कैसे समझे इसको?
अभी नहीं, सिंपल बात है, सांख्य योग उसने उसने बहुत मेहनत करके फाइंड किया रूट का ट्री, तो आगे जाके इट विल अल्टीमेटली लीड टू भक्ति. और वाटर भी करेगा ना, मतलब उसको इतना समझ गया, बहुत मेहनत करने के बाद उसको समझा कि ये रूट है करके. तो दैट्स व्हाई इट इज नॉट परफेक्ट, इट मे नॉट लीड टू परफेक्शन. सांख्य योग मे नॉट लीड टू परफेक्शन अनलेस भक्ति कम्स इनटू द पिक्चर. दैट्स व्हाई भक्ति योगा को इतना फोकस क्यों दिया गया है कि अल्टीमेटली इट हैज टू कल्मिनेट इनटू भक्ति योगा. चाहे कर्मयोग करे, ज्ञान योग करे, निष्काम कर्मयोग करे, अगर वो भक्ति में कल्मिनेट नहीं होता है तो ही सेड दैट्स व्हाई श्रमैव केवलम, दैट इज ऑल श्रमैव केवलम. इतना मेहनत करके तुमने फाइंड किया, लेकिन तुम्हारा अल्टीमेट कंक्लूजन नहीं है. एक बार शिल प्रभुपाद जो थे वृंदावन में थे, वृंदावन में शिल प्रभुपाद ने बहुत बड़े बड़े स्कॉलर्स लोग आए, ज्ञानी लोग, सांख्य योगी लोग, सब लोग आए. प्रभुपाद ने पूछा, सो हु इज कृष्णा? बोले आपने इतना कठिन प्रश्न पूछ लिया है स्वामी जी. बोले क्या कठिन है? बोले कृष्णा जो वेदों में से उसको ऐसा कहते हैं, ये कहते हैं, वो कहते हैं, ये कहते हैं, वो कहते हैं, उनको बताया नहीं जा सकता, एक्सप्लेन नहीं किया जा सकता कौन है कृष्णा. इस एक घंटे में कैसे बताया तुमको कृष्णा कौन है? प्रभुपाद बोर हो गए. प्रभुपाद ने दो गुरुकुल के बच्चों को पूछा, हु इज कृष्णा बेटा, टेल. और वो बोले कृष्णा इज सुप्रीम पर्सनालिटी ऑफ गॉड है, एंड दैट्स ऑल. उसने मस्त बोल के भाग गए. प्रभुपाद ने उनको कुकी दिया, रसगुल्ला, ले बेटा खा. इसको कुछ पता नहीं, इसने डायरेक्ट वाटरिंग द ट्री चालू कर दिया है, चैंटिंग करना चालू कर दिया है. और ये बेचारा इतना स्कॉलर अपना जीवन दे दिया, लेकिन अभी तक कंक्लूजन पे नहीं आया है. दैट्स व्हाई all ultimately, no matter which are your path of yoga, it has to culminate in bhakti. So finding the root of the tree is good, but no, watering the root of the tree is the best. That is the.
So Guruji, that verse Bahunam Janma Namante is about that Sankhya yogi who have achieved Bhakti Yoga. Is that true?
Yeah. Sankhya yogi or any kind of yogi, any other personality.
Among
Yeah,
many
bro.
many Sankhya yogi is reaching to Bahunam Janma Namante Jnanavanam Vasudevam Sarvamiti. To this conclusion, among many Sankhya yogis, one is reaching to this conclusion.
Yes,
That
not only Sankhya, the purpose of all other parts of yoga is also this. So Sankhya yogi, karma yogi, jnana yogi, karma yogi, any kind of yogi, hatha yogi, if he comes to this conclusion, sa mahatma sudurlabha. Ultimately, everyone is for trying to for this path only to realize Supreme Lord, but in different ways. Okay, so I think it's 8:19. So tomorrow we'll continue from verse number 6, 7, and sorry, 6, no? 4 and 5th we have done. So tomorrow we'll continue from 6th onwards, and hopefully we'll go a little faster tomorrow. Jai Shri Vrindavan Das Thakur ki Jai, Srimad Bhagavad Gita ki Jai, Srila Prabhupada ki Jai.